Thank you very much. Right, now I'm going to start. Good morning, America. Good afternoon, Europe, and good evening, Australia. It's Solly Joe here, coming to you from the WoodUbend workshop live. You will be able to see this on the replay, especially on our YouTube channel if you don't catch the live. Another Christmas project today, and I'm going to be using the Hope and Protector A3 Decoupage. And you may say to me, well, that doesn't look like an A3. No, because we have two A4s in an A3, and I think it was last week or the week before I used Hope, which had lovely verdigris colours, and I did a tray. So today is the day where I get to use the Protector. Now, these beautiful pieces were drawn by the lovely artist Chris Lelouthis. So that's what we're using as far as decoupage goes, and we're going to be using one of our wooden craft products. It's not yet being released. We do have the products downstairs. We're going to be releasing it in the next couple of weeks with some other products, decoupage and some stencils, and 2 WoodUbend products that we are releasing. So first things first, I'm going to pop that out of the way, and I'm going to take the base of this wooden craft article, and I'm going to paint it in white because our Posh products, the decoupage, is very translucent, very see-through. So if I have, for instance, a black background, the colours don't pop as much as I would like them to. So I'm going to stop chit-chatting, and I'm going to need another one of these, my love.
Okay.
You can get it after this because you're going to. So I'm just going to paint that in white. I'm using magic chalk paint, which I love. I'm not going to go right to the edge because this is not going to cover, decoupage paper is not going to cover the whole of this area.
Would you like another small or a large?
Small one, yeah. In fact, I need 2. I need 1 to apply the paper dry, and then 1 for my infuser. I also need some infuser. I've not got infuser right. So just pop that in there. And then I need to find a heat gun, which isn't plugged in. I'll just put that in. And just bear with me 1 minute, guys. I have to get this nice and dry. I'll tell you that, it's flying all over. So tell me what the weather's like, guys, where you are. We've got 1 person watching YouTube and 1 person watching on Posh. That's because we were a little bit late. We didn't post this yesterday, what we were doing, and I find, especially people in America, if they don't see it the night before, it's way too early in America. So I'm now going to take off the excess. I'm going to fill this corner. I'm going to take off all the excess paper here. So let me get that out of the way. And I'm just doing this with a water pen. I don't want straight line because it will show, and I don't want it showing. And the beauty of a water pen is that once it soaks into the paper, you can just lightly rip it, and it leaves a beautiful frayed edge which can be blended in with your paint or your paste or whatever you're using. What you don't want is a straight line because the eye picks it up. Even if you're one of the best blenders in the world, the eye will pick that straight edge up, especially if you do it with scissors. Oh, we've got people watching. Hello, Anna. Let me know what the weather's like, guys, please. It's rainy here. It was actually sunny this morning when I came out of my house, and got to the office, and the next minute I look out the window and it was hailstones and rain. So that's what I'm left with. So I'm just going to get this on real fast. Got my Posh chalk infuser. just going to apply a very thin layer of the Posh chalk infuser, just so that my decoupage has something to stick onto. Then I'm going to come in with a dry brush and just lay that on the surface round about there. I'm not doing any crackling underneath the decoupage. I'm going to do the crackle on top with the crackle enamel, just for a change, just to give a different effect. So that's on. I'm now going to seal the decoupage with the infuser. Now, to help your decoupage paper really consolidate with the substrate underneath, you can use a water spritzer. You don't have to, but you can do. It just helps it move along a little bit easier and faster. So pop that over there. I'm going to dry that off. And that's almost dry. Now today I want to try and concentrate on doing something that looks a little bit more natural, a little bit more Scandinavian. So because the WoodUbend do have very high content of wood, and because you can sand them and because you can stain them, that's what I'm going to do with them today, to give more of a natural look. Before I do that though, I'm going to start blending in all this area with my pastes, okay? So we get rid of all this white. So I'm going to be using Brown Van Dyke. I'm just going to open them all up. I can just dig into them because I'm going to be using various colours. So Brown Van Dyke, that's a lovely browny colour, as you can see. I'm going to be using green bronze. I hope you guys can all see well enough, which is that lovely pea soup green colour. I'm going to be using deep gold, and if Connor would kindly get me some black, I forgot to get the black.
Yep.
I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about my paste lubricant. If you want these to, if you want to water these down, or if they do get a little bit hard, they get a bit stiff, you can use your paste lubricant to water them down and to bring them back to their lovely consistency. And black, lovely. I've got all my colours here around me, and I'm just going to start blending. And I'm going to start off, I think, with the Brown Van Dyke. I'm just going to get a little board. I always have a board with you guys when I'm stippling, just to get the excess off, and it also serves as a mixing palette as well. So don't throw your WoodUbend boards away, they are so useful. I'm just tickling the surface, just stripping down the surface. I'm trying to get it on quite thick. You don't have to do 2 layers of it. Taking in some of the black there, and just gently stippling that in so that my colours match on the surface. You'll see that there? So we need to say happy Thanksgiving, or happy belated Thanksgiving to Lovely friends in America, hope you all had a great Turkey Day.
Claudine Pitchen's joined us on Facebook and said hello from Switzerland.
Hello, I bet it's nice and snowy in Switzerland, especially this time of year. Yeah, I'm going to come in with a little bit of my green now. Green bronze. Coming over to this side. Ooh, need a little bit of black. And this is going to give me a really neutral background, so when I start applying the WoodUbend, I think it's going to look good. And I'm going to stain the WoodUbend sand them. That's great, that's what I love about them in comparison to all this other plastic stuff you get on the market. And they are all plastic. That's why I love the WoodUbend. That's why I came out with WoodUbend initially. I wanted something that did have a high quantity of wood in it. I know I'm covering the windows up here, but I don't have the time to blend this in any better, and I am going to be putting WoodUbend mouldings on anyway, so even if I did blend this perfectly, the majority of it would be hidden by the WoodUbend mouldings. And I feel like I need a little bit more black in there, and maybe come in with a smaller paintbrush just to create a little bit more shading. You can look at some comments if you want to comment. I think we've got enough footage of the...
Yep. With blending, I'm never sure which bits are important, so I try and get as much as possible.
I know, you do a great job. Doesn't he do a great job, guys? Artemis is in Greece at the moment. I've been trying to get hold of her for the past couple of days and I can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm just bringing the colours into the existing image there. It just helps it all kind of...
Oh, so we've been joined by Brett Edema on the Facebook, who says hello from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, and what's the weather like in Toronto? Well, we have Canadians in there because Connor's mother is Canadian, so we have a half Canadian, don't we? And my husband is Canadian as well. He grew up in Canada. Well, he's Greek, grew up in Canada.
Yeah, that's the part of Canada my mum's from as well, just outside of Toronto.
Toronto, is she? Theo's from...
Well, it's the closest city that people recognise the name of, kind of thing. It's about an hour drive away from Toronto,
it's
but...
massive, isn't it? So, there we are, my friends. That is as far as I'm going to go with the blending. I think that looks really pretty, doesn't it? Ah. Yeah, this is now a beautiful background, I think. Oh, grazie, grazie groppo. Sinonetta, grazie. So I'm just going to dry that off really fast.
Oh, and hello, Gina's Life Piece Together, who says hello from Georgia, USA.
Hello.
And just said beautiful when you held that up.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, and also thank you, Patrice Sabrina, who says, I love that painting.
Beautiful, isn't it? Chris is such a fabulous artist. And the great thing about the Posh cases that they dry very, very fast, which is great. I'm just going to drink my coffee. Now, I want this to, that's not warm enough colour, can turn that up a bit, it's not anything. I want this to, I want crackle on here, but I didn't want to put it underneath. That's why we're going to be using our crackle enamel together with our crackle gel. So, how this works is, first of all, you apply a layer of your crackle gel, okay? And I'm just going to use one of my blending brushes here. And I'm putting a thin layer all over my image. If you're doing this at home, I would say leave the paste to dry a good 2 or 3 hours before you do this. Obviously, I can't leave them to dry when I'm showcasing you these things online, because you'll be sat here for hours, which would be horrendously boring. And another tip, when you close your crackling gel, my friends, always make sure that you wipe, that you're wiping that, what's this part called? Is that part a screw? What's it called, guys? Where you've got that bit that screws on there.
I'd just call it a ridge, I guess.
There's a special name to it, I can't remember.
Probably
I can
right.
think of it in Greek, but I can't think of it in English.
Never realised there was a special word, to be honest.
See if anybody comes up with it. Oh, what does Gilda say there? I can't see what Gilda's saying. Yasu Athena, Michaelada. Got the Greeks in the house. What's the weather like in Greece? Yeah. So I'm just going to dry that off again. Really pretty, isn't it?
Brett Edema said rim. Was rim the word you were looking for?
Oh, rim. Oh, the rim. Oh, yeah, we could use the word rim. Good call there. Fabulous. Yeah, the rim, yeah. Get this nice and dry. Yeah, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. If you use a heat gun, guys, be really careful with it, because you can really burn your projects. Use a hairdryer, but just know that it takes a lot longer. I use the heat gun because obviously I want things to go fast on the lives. So, can't really see much there. It's just a shiny surface, isn't it? But watch what happens now when we apply the top layer of...
By the way, I managed to translate what Gilda said. So Gilda said, good morning, my dear, and everyone else. I miss seeing your work. I love your live streams. Today at 1 p.m. I'm having a bazaar. I'll be waiting for you. I feel like something got lost at the end of that in the translation, but so I apologise for Google Translate there.
Thank you for your lovely words. Right, so we've got our crackle gel on, yeah, for those of you who just joined us, if anybody has just joined us, which I've now dried, and I'm now coming in with the crackle enamel, okay. This is not crackle enamel. This is
Oh, is that one of the mislabeled ones from...
This is one of the mislabeled ones, so thank God for that. That's crackle again. It's, yeah, that's it.
It's a bit stuck.
And you can tell the difference because the crackle enamel
is milky and white.
is a milky product. Thank God for that, good Lord, I made a right idiot of myself there. So I'm just going to stir up. Doesn't really need stirring. Oh, there's a hair in there. So, I need another brush. Is that? No, I need another one, sorry.
Yeah, it's alright. Another smooth and blend swab.
I have a lot of washing up to do today. Hello, Claudine. Thank you very much. So, I'm going to come in and methodically get that on. I'm putting it on quite thick because this stuff, it does get a bit temperamental. All crackle products do. You're going to get it on as fast as you can and not try not to play around with it too much after the fact. Doesn't like it. Can curdle, especially with chalk paints. You don't want your chalk paint curdling. Just let me tickle it across the surface so I get a nice smooth surface there. And this is where the magic happens. Now I could leave that to dry on its own. Just going to get rid of some of this up here. I could leave that to dry on its own and the cracks would appear. But again, I'm going to be using my heat gun. Ooh, wow, 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 wow. See all the crackles. I'll show you in a minute. See all the crackles appearing. Just a little bit more. Right, let me show you the crackles. I will put some either wax or a wash on here so you can actually see them. But can you see them there? Oh gosh, it's not showing on the camera.
Yeah, I was trying to find the right angle.
Camera. Right, so I need to get a wax on here or a wash that's going to seep into the crackles. I think I'll go with wax. Wax is a safer option.
And we've been joined by Subrata Das S1Q on YouTube, who says hello, dear.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Right, so I've never done this before, paste, then the crackle enamel on top and the wax on top of that. So I'm just going to do a little test area in one corner just to make sure this is going to work. I may need to put a layer of clear wax under if this gets too grubby and too dirty. And actually it's working absolutely fine. So you can see the crackles there now. You see the crackles? It's not showing on this camera at all, is it? There you go, you can see them there. I think I'm going to mix it with a little bit of clear wax though, just to be safe. So I'm going to go all over. And basically what it's doing now, the wax is sitting in all those crackles I've just created and other nooks and crannies. I've got crackles on the face now. I'm happy. I'm a happy bunny now that my crackle's on. The crackles on the face. Oh yes. Yeah. I'm sure you'll be able to see these crackles once I hold this up to the camera.
Yeah, I'm picking them up now.
Yeah.
When you get the right angle.
Very fine cracks. And first of all, I'm going to come in and get the excess wax off with a kitchen towel. And then I can come in with my baby wipe, which is obviously has got some sort of solution on it. I'm just going to clean up the face, clean it up. I'm just taking a little bit more of that black wax off the top, just to brighten the image up. And from it being a piece of paper, it now looks like a wall in a church in Poland or in Greece, in one of these village churches up on the mountain. And I can take it back as much as I want, but I think I'm going to stop. Let me see what it looks like round about there. There you go, you can see all the crackles now in the surface there, and it just turns it into a very, very vintage piece. So, just popping my stuff to one side again. And it's time now to think about how we're going to apply the WoodUbend. And what I'm using today is 1457, which is very Christmassy. So that's it when it comes in its packaging, and it actually turns into a wreath. And we made it like this. We used to, in the past, they used to be connected, but we had too many breakages. It's easier to package like that, and you can be more creative, it gives you more flexibility in your creations. So I'm going to warm these up. In fact, the first thing I need to do is get my other trim on the surface, which is the TR742. That's a really thick rub. And I'm just going to pop this round the outside. Of the circle. But what I need to do first is make sure this is nice and clean.
Do you want the glass cleaner?
Sorry?
Do you want the glass cleaner or?
I think it's okay, isn't it?
I'm not sure, I couldn't see from where I was, so.
Right, yeah, bring the glass cleaner. This will be my guide as to where I put the trim round, because the trim is actually going to be holding this plexiglass in place. Thank you. I just need to get one side nice and clean, the side that's actually going to be going face down on the decoupage, and then we can clean the other side at our leisure later on.
Oh, hello, Tanis Graffland, who's asked where we're from. We're based in Leeds in the north of England.
Yeah, really, UK. It's nice and cold.
Said they're joining us from India. What's the weather like in India?
Oh, wow. So, are you ready, Connor?
Yep.
So this is, I'm going to position this. Oh, that's on the other side, is it? I'm going to position that on there like that. And now I can get my glue. See, these boards are just fabulous to use. Decanting some WoodUbend glue. And then I'm going to get a really old brush and start applying it round the edge where the base of my WoodUbend is going.
Oh yeah, apologies, Tanisha. I could only see your username in the YouTube chat. I don't think you've joined us before. I'll make sure to remember your name is Tanisha, not Tanis Cracksland.
Some of you may be asking me, how is this going to stick on top of wax? I will make it stick. It will stick with the heat. It would be ideal not to have put the wax on yet, or actually taped around where the WoodUbend is going, but I don't have the time to do that. So I'm just going to come in and make a cut there. We've got a knife there.
Yeah,
No,
I had put one out.
you did get one out, did you?
Yeah.
Thank you. So you see that it's nice and bendy. It's been on the. Can you get me bending this?
Yep.
It's been on the griddle for 10-15 minutes now, and I'm just going to cut down one of these things here, and then hopefully I can make a seamless connection as I'm going round. So now this is quite a thick WoodUbend, so it does stay warm for a lot longer. Once I get it to where I want it, I'm going to miter that, yeah, so that it fits in with the other end on the bottom. And obviously this is going to get folded up whilst it's still warm. See how long this has stayed warm? That's because it's a thick piece. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take that out because I need to warm this WoodUbend up a lot more. I want it really nice and bendy. Now the wax is giving me some issues here.
And to answer your question, Tanisha, no, unfortunately not. Neither of us do know Hindi. I mean, I assume you're not hiding a secret
No, I agree.
Hindi
That's
fluency.
it. Bit of French, 10-15 words of Italian, fluent Greek, and okay English.
I like how you said fluent Greek and only okay English.
I studied in Greece and yeah, right. So I'm going to pick that up now, see if I can just get that. I think this is one of the jobs where, one of the projects where I should have used maybe some clamps. Clamps would have been good, I think. Have we actually got any clamps, Connor?
I'm not certain.
Little clamp things. Can't see anything. Oh, well, I'll just have to hold on to it. So, whilst we're waiting around, we're going to pop these two on the griddle. Get those nice and warm. Whilst I'm still holding on to this. I think it's because it takes such a long time, this, to cool down and actually set in place. Because the WoodUbend, once they cool down, if you bend them into a certain position, as soon as they cool down, they remain in the position that you've bent them into. So with this one retaining so much heat, you have to literally hold it down, because it just wants to spring back to the original shape it was in originally. We don't want that. I think we're nearly there. Right, my friends, there we go. Isn't that, I love that natural feel of the wood around it. I don't want to paint that. I really do not want to paint that. I will wax it and I'll distress it a little bit with sandpaper. But apart from that, I'm not going to do anything else with it. So let's see how this fits in now, which has got all dirty from the glue. Let's see how that will go in there. And I'm just going to hold it to one side. I'm going to get these really warm, nice and warm, because these are what are going to hold everything together. And flexible, so I can flex them that way, I can flex them, open them up, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open them up a little bit. So I'm just going to flip these over, get some glue on there. And when you're applying your glue, guys, always make sure you apply the glue to the full footprint of the WoodUbend moulding. Your WoodUbend application is only as good as the adhesion you get. And this is a non-porous surface, so it's very important to get glue all over. If you're dealing with porous surfaces like pieces of furniture, wood obviously, cement, they're quite porous, so with the WoodUbend, because they're wood, they suck the glue up inside, and then the surface you're applying them to does the same, so you get a great adhesion. This is not an adhesive, this is not a porous surface, so you've got to be careful. I'm going to make a bit of a mess on this glass, but I can't get away from that glass. It's not glass, it's perspex. So I want that to open up a little bit more. Right, I'm going to come in and I'm going to heat this up very gently. I don't want this warping. This is not glass, this is quite thick perspex, but I don't want to mess it up. And this will allow me to just bring the WoodUbend in, open it up a bit, and situate it on the surface where I want it to be. And I will show you it now, where we've got it. So, maybe this needs to come a little bit out there. Yeah, definitely. Bring the WoodUbend just. Right, so I can now come in with a wet paintbrush and start getting some of that glue off. Glue comes off very easily. It also dries transparently, so you can leave the glue on if you want, but I don't like big gloops of glue hanging around.
Patty's just joined us and said,
Day.
good day, Solly Joe.
Hello, sweetie pie, how are you? I'm being messy again, Patty. That's my middle name, Messy, so my big creative mess. You warm it up a little bit more. It's not liking the wax there, so I'm going to really warm that up. I'm just going to hold that for 2 seconds. And that's all on. It's just here. Right, there we are. So now we can start. As I said, I want to keep this a raw wood. Are we liking that, guys, or is it? I quite like that actually. Let's sit like that. It's off-centered. Or does that need to come out a little bit more? Yeah. 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 What we're thinking, guys? I like that off-centered like that.
And we've just been joined by Janice Millman-Vrooman, who says, hi Solly Joe, undercovers in Jack's FL in the 40s. I think that means Jacksonville, Florida.
The 40s, that's nice. Nice temperature. Florida is fabulous this time of year. My best friend lives in Florida. She lives in Holiday on the, he's looking at the map on the left-hand side, just above Tampa. I think she's about an hour, half an hour from Tampa on that side. That side.
I mean, I may have been completely wrong. I think that's what Jack's FL means. Correct me if I'm wrong, Janice. Oh, and thank you. She just said beautiful when you held up the...
Thank you. So, I'm going to go with waxes. I'm not going to put the paste on as a wash. I'm going to go with waxes. And I want to keep this as light as possible. So, I'm going to come in with my clear wax first. And people say, why do you put clear wax before you put your dark wax on? It just gives me a barrier in between the very porous WoodUbend and the dark wax, so I can manipulate where the dark wax is actually going to sit. Because otherwise, with the dark wax, sometimes, because the WoodUbend is so porous, because they're wood, they grab onto the dark wax and you can't manoeuvre it and manipulate it. Got a bit of glue going on there. Just get rid of that with my fingernail. Bit of wax, it'll come off, yeah. Right, and now I'm going to come in with my dark wax, and I'm going to be very selective about where I actually put this. I say that and then I do the exact opposite, don't I? So, just get it into all these. I'm going to go around the depth of the WoodUbend just to give it that shaded look. can spread that out with a bigger brush later on. I am going to be putting a bit of colour on these, just using my aqua patinas. I'm going to use, because there are actual red berries on here, so I'm going to pick those out and make those look a little bit more festive.
Oh, Pat, you just said we're preparing for a snowstorm tomorrow. They say we could get 10 inches.
Wow, lovely. Oh, you'll be out with a snowman, building snowmen. We had a bit of snow, didn't we, Connor? But it didn't last very long.
Yeah, we had like 2 very small flurries week in the air. Nothing ever
snow.
settled.
Everybody here in the office, if you say snow, oh God, I love snow.
I've never minded snow.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Right, so can you see I'm now coming in with the brown wax. It's not going into the nooks and crannies that I want it to, but it is spreading very easily, and when I come back in to spread it out with my other brush, it will be forced into all the nooks and crannies.
Do you want me to grab a wax extender brush?
That would be perfect if you could, yes please. You're learning, Connor. Learning.
Do you want one we've already used for wax?
Hmm?
Is one that we've already used for wax fine, or
Yeah.
would you rather one that's dark or light?
Dark, I think, because otherwise we'll mess the other one up, won't we? And I don't want to do that. I have one brush for dark wax and one brush for clear wax in different various sizes, because it's so difficult. And I've actually wrapped them in cling film. It keeps them nice and moist, and then you don't have to wash them every time. So I'm coming now with my big brush and just spread that wax around, getting some clear wax. And as I'm brushing it around, my friends, it is actually finding its way into those grooves, and that's where I want it to sit really. For it to look natural, it's got to sit in those grooves. I'm making sure I'm getting all the sides done. You need that wax in the grooves. So that's where we're up to, my friends, so far. Now that looks really natural. I really am loving that. And although I'm going to put a bit of colour on, I'm not going to put too much on because I don't want to wreck this. I'm going to leave it like that so you guys can see it. So, coming in with the aqua patina in red, and I'm going to pick out the little red berries. And this is our, I forgot what this one's called, red medium cadmium. It's such a helpful. I'm going to start changing the names of some of these. I'm just going to pick out these little berries. I actually saw somebody doing this the other day and it gave me a great idea. I can't remember who it was. They were using one of our WoodUbend garlands, and they were picking all the colours out with aqua patina. I was like, wow, that is a fabulous idea. I'm going to do that.
We just got a comment in Greek on the Facebook.
What does it say, Connor? Tassoula. Tassoula. Kalispera από τη βροχερή Θεσσαλονίκη. Yes, Thessaloniki, best part in Greece. Και εδώ έχει βροχή, αγάπη μου. Βρέχει πάρα πολύ. Με το που βγήκα το πρωί, είχε ήλιο. Φτάνω στο γραφείο, κατακλυσμός. Just saying, as I said before, guys, came out my door this morning, brilliant sunshine. Got to the office and within half an hour, whenever I lifted my head up from the computer to look out the window, and it was absolutely teeming it down.
At least it is a little warmer. It's not quite as chilly as it has been.
And I'm going to come in with another aqua patina, and this is our primary green. And I'm just going to do some small strokes. I'm not going to fill the whole thing up. paint it everywhere, just to give it a little bit of that green. And one thing I'm definitely using today, and I'm going to use it on the bow, is the 24 karat gold paste, which I absolutely love, and I just don't get the chance to use this as much as I would like. And that's why we call it 24 karat, because it looks like 24 karat gold. Another brush, and I'm going to do the bow, and I will emphasise that just a little bit more than everything else on this piece. Just gives us a vocal top point for people to talk about. Say, yeah, you see, she did put the bling on in the end. She always does. She can't help herself. I have made a humongous mess here, but look what we've done. There we go, so that will sit like that. What do you think to that? I think that looks really natural, don't you? Ah, last thing. Wipe my excess wax off. And then we're going to make it pop. And you need to get this because I don't do this very often, Connor.
Yep.
Because the WoodUbend, I'm going to distress them. Oh, look at that. I nearly forgot to do this. And this will just give us another level of lighting effects. And that's the great thing about WoodUbend, my friends. It's real wood, so you can distress it. Unlike all the plastic things on the market. Can't do that with them. And they don't, I mean, I used to use them a long time ago, and I had people, whenever I came out with WoodUbend, I had customers actually that I'd done commissions for, pieces of furniture, and these plastic things were just coming off, you know, after 6 months, a year. As the furniture breathes, it takes in water, moisture during the winter, and during the summer it shrinks because it dries out. These flex with the furniture, and those plastic things do not, and they just start popping off. So that was highly embarrassing for me, and that's the reason I came out with WoodUbend. I mean, for things like this, yeah, it's fine. Crafting projects. When you're doing things, when you're doing actual pieces of furniture, plastic is not the way to go, I'm afraid. So, there we are. But can you see how beautiful it is now to distress those little... Yeah, isn't that cool, guys? Do you want to get some photographs as well?
Way ahead of you.
Eh?
Way ahead of you, that's exactly what I was doing.
Okay. Did you get the final video?
I got a final video and then you kind of held it quite close, but I'll get another, a better one.
Let's get a final video for the TikTok. There we go. Right, I'm going to try and bring it as close as I can now so you can have a look. And I will tidy this up later. It's just wax that'll come off. So, that is it, my friends. I'm going to wish you all a fabulous weekend. Thank you ever so much for joining me. And we will see you all again next week. Tuesday, I don't know whether I'm doing a live on Tuesday. Maybe not, because usually that's the day you do the Magic and Posh Chalk live. Wednesday, I have the class, the tutorial on patinas, I think we've got bronze this coming week. I couldn't do it this week, I had a technical problem. We're going to be doing bronze patina, and Friday I may or may not be live because I'll be travelling up to Scotland on that day. But anyway, have a beautiful weekend, my friends, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye everyone.
A little bit of sandpaper put the finishing touch. It did, Janice, it did. Bye guys.
Bye everyone.
Can you?
Yep.
Yeah. Bye YouTube.